Jen here from Soylent Cosplay, back with another makeup tutorial. Today we are going to be doing the QUNARI Inquisitor from Dragon Age Inquisition. The nice thing about doing the QUNARI Inquisitor from Dragon Age is that it's pretty customizable. This is just my version of it, and I'm hoping that these tips might be helpful to someone. If they are, let me know down below in the comments, and as always, if you like what you see, feel free to subscribe and like the video. So to start off, I'm just going to go pop my contact lenses in and put my hair up, and then I'll be right back. So my contacts are now in, put my hair up in a braid because it's easier to put my wig on later. Please ignore whatever is happening here. I'm growing out an undercut, and this is not a fun time. If you wanted to, you could leave putting your contact lenses in until the end, but I find with body paint it's a lot safer just to put them in at the beginning so you don't end up with the situation where you smudge it with your fingers. The contacts I'm wearing are from Colour View if you want to go check them out. So to start off with, we're going to put our base on. My face is clean, toned, and completely moisturizer free. You don't want to have any kind of extra stuff to stop the paint from gripping here. So the QUNARI have a varying range of skin tones, anywhere from like just straight up kind of beige all the way into a dark grey, but the good thing is you have kind of freedom to go either way you want. To do my body paint, I do a bit of a weird thing with this one. I like to mix my water-based body paint with my foundation. I'm starting off with I really should clean that off. This grey body paint by Paradise Makeup AQ in Storm Cloud, and I'm going to be mixing it with a foundation. I would suggest not using your most expensive foundation because that's going to make you sad. You can use any foundation for this as long as it is a liquid. I don't really think it would work with a cream. I've never tried it. You can if you want, but my suggestion would be stick to a liquid. I'm going to spray my cake makeup with some water. Not too much. You don't need very much water. You just need it to be moist. And then on the lid that it comes with, I just put a little bit of foundation and I mix the two together. Then I apply it basically the same way I apply my foundation. I take a beauty blender and I spray it. You can literally just take your foundation on your sponge and just put that straight into the cake if you want. And I'm just going to take my new colour and put that straight on my skin like I would foundation. And now you're grey. Don't worry if it's a little bit patchy, we're going to fix it up as we go along. You want to work quite quick for all of that because once the water-based paint dries down, putting more on top usually lifts the layer underneath. Something to be mindful of when you're doing this. You want to make sure you work quite quickly with each layer, making sure that you don't just stop halfway through because you'll end up with big streaks all over your face. Now between this, like how you would with a normal makeup, you're wanting to put highlight and contour in to get your face back. So we're going to take the same sponge we've been using and we're going to load it up with the foundation. Basically you're doing the same mixture, but you're making it like a 80% foundation to a 20% paint. These instructions are a little bit more difficult to explain than I expected, but I'm hoping the visuals will explain what I mean. Everything is still wet, we're going to go in with a black and we're going to start trying to chisel out the contours, mixing it with the still wet grey paint. For the darker shades, I like to go in with a new sponge because you don't really want to mix your highlight and your shade together on the same sponge because it will just turn into a big muddy mess. And I'm still mixing it with a little bit of foundation. The most important part of this bit is just to be patient. It's a little bit finicky because everything sets down and you have to kind of make sure you don't take it off again. You could do this in cream paints, that probably would be a lot easier, but I prefer this because it lasts longer for me and it doesn't settle in all of my lines. don't worry if it's not looking perfect, because we're going to go in with powders afterwards and that will help even it all out. I'm pushing the colour right into my ear because I'm going to have my fake ears put on at the end, and sometimes you can see them through the wig. If you have hair that covers your ears, you don't have to worry about doing your ears as well. If you're feeling really game, you can do your nose contour now as well. I'm going to go in and do it, see how we go. But for this I'm going to go in with a little brush. I'm actually going to use my little tiny sponge because I just realised I have it, and I haven't had it before for this makeup. So you can see on my nose, that's what happens when you have not enough colour. Don't have too much water on your sponge, otherwise it starts to lift the paint underneath. With a little brush, we're going to take some of that black and take it down the sides of the nose and then really blend it out with the same sponge. That I'm happy with the contours, I'm going to go in with a bit more highlight through the areas that I started with originally, because I think we lost it all during the contouring. So it's at this point that you're looking at yourself and going, what am I doing? And why do I look like a Homestuck character? We're getting there. We're getting there. Next up is powders. Best thing about water-based paints is that you don't actually have to set them with powders like you do with cream-based, but I like to go in with the powders over top of this just to get some more depth in and also to give some more warmth back to the face. So we've got basically the preliminaries of the contouring going on right now. So we're going to go in and not really deepen them, but we're going to give them a few more colours. Basically, I'm going to start off with a warmer brown tone, and I'm just going to put that on a contour brush, and I'm going to go through all the contours that I have done and that you have on your face normally at this point. Make sure the paint is dry before you start this step. Very important. And sometimes I find that patching it on as opposed to swiping is a bit of a safer option. You should be okay with swiping, but if you're worried about it, always go in with a dab. Next I'm just taking a black eyeshadow, and we're doing the same thing but very lightly. To get right in there with the black properly, I'm taking a big fluffy brush and I'm going to go into the smaller contours around the eye and down the nose and around the lips. I'm also going to take that same black and put it underneath my eye, just on the outer corners. After I'm pretty happy with the contour, I move on to eyes. The eye look you're pretty free to do whatever you want with. The character is yours. I am going to basically treat it like I would my everyday eye look. I'll show you how I do mine, and if you want to do it this way then feel free. I'm going to start off with a kind of white tone, and I'm going to put that all over the lid and up into the brow. Next I'm just taking a warm brown and I'm going to run that through the crease. I'm going to take that same brown tone and bring it down my nose a little bit as well. Now I'm going to take the black and I'm just going to put that along the outer corner of my lash line. Now just to matte down my cheeks, I'm going to put a little bit of just a normal kind of translucent powder. Now I'm going to line my waterline. And then I'm going to blend that out with some more black eyeshadow. Next I'm taking a liquid eyeliner and I'm going to do a winged liner. Now I'm going to curl my lashes and apply mascara. You can apply fake lashes at this point as well if you want, but personally I don't like wearing false lashes and contacts at the same time, unless I really have to. Now I'm going to fill in my brows. Again, you can go with whatever shape you want. I just like to follow my natural brow for this because it's a lot easier. Even though my wig is white, I still like going in with quite a dark brow. And because it's a fantasy creature, you can get away with really dark brows. So I'm just going to go in with a black eyeshadow. Remember, they're sisters, not twins. Now that we're done with the eyes and the eyebrows, we're going to move on to the lips. So my trick for lips lasting all day is that I don't do them in lipstick, I always do them in eyeliner and eyeshadow. I swear it works. So take your same eyeliner that you were using before, and we're going to outline and basically colour in our entire lips. My eyeliner is running out. Of course it is. So because my liquid liner decided it didn't want to work anymore, I'm going to do it in a gel liner, which if you have is also just as good because it dries down and is really long lasting as well. One tip I have, or if you are planning to apply any kind of lipstick or eyeliner with a brush, if you're finding you can't get a nice clean line on the outsides of your lips, it's because you don't have enough product on your brush. That tip blew my mind when I found it out. So once you have the shape down, what you're going to do next is basically pick the color that you want for your lips. In my case it is a purple. I'm just taking a purple eyeshadow here and I'm just going to dab that all over my lips. I love the colour payoff when I do it this way, and legitimately I've worn lips like this at conventions for a good 12 to 14 hours and they have not moved, so they got my seal of approval. Okay, time for war paint. So your style of war paint is really up to you. There are some different designs in the game that you can pick from. I picked a couple of different ones and just kind of merged them together to make a design that I liked. You're welcome to use the one that I've used, but you can find a lot of images online if you write in, I don't know how to pronounce it, Vitar? It's V-I-T-A-A-R, and that's the war paint in Dragon Age for the QUNARI. I'm going to do the one that I normally do and just give you the tips on what I found works and what doesn't work. So the paint I've chosen is almost entirely red. So I've made myself a little red paint here. This is a PAX paint. So it's a half and half mixture of non-toxic, skin-safe acrylic paint and Prosade, no-type Prosade. So I'm following these markings here for the most part. So I'm going to start with the ones under my eyes and then, well, it's kind of just free form at this point, you know, do what you feel. not incredibly clean at this point because we're going to go through with a eyeshadow once we're done. And lastly, the lips. Now that we've got all the red on, we're going to go over it with some powder just to make sure that it doesn't move. And lastly, for the markings, we're going to take some white body paint and I'm going to put just a couple of dots in the middle of my eyes just to finish it off. So now that's the makeup finished. All I've got to do now is put my ears on. So the ears that I use for my QUNARI are some elf ears from Aradani Costumes. And basically all I do with them is I painted them the same colour that I am, and then instead of wearing them the way you're supposed to, I just flip them upside down and wear them the other way so that they stick out more like a QUNARI. So I'm going to put some Prozaid on the back of the ears and also on my ear and stick my ears on. Now normally if you were either using your natural hair or maybe your wig was a bit shorter, you'd want to make sure that these seams were well blended as well. In my case, my wig covers all of that, so I don't really have to worry about it. I have one too many earrings on this ear, so I'm just going to take one of them out. My final touch for this, before I put everything else on, is I take that earring that I took out and I find a new home for it. And there you have it. That's the end of the makeup. So I'm now going to go put my wig on and complete the look. We've done it! We did it! Here is the final result for the QUNARI Inquisitor. I've put on my wig, which also has my horns attached. These horns are made by the incredible Mad Masker. I'm going to put her link down below so you can check her out because she does some great stuff. It's so good. And the wig is from Arda Wigs. So I hope you found this tutorial helpful. This is probably one of my favorite makeups to do because it allows for quite a bit of freedom and you don't have to be quite so by the book. You can pick your eye color, your horn shape, what color hair you want, what kind of length you want it to be at, the war paint, like just everything, and I love it. I love it so much. Plus this makeup makes your teeth look really white. Yeah. A couple of things I just wanted to add on as little helpful tips for this as well. If you plan to wear it all day or for a convention, I highly suggest using a mixing liquid instead of just water because that will help it stay on all day and it helps it adhere better to your skin. And also definitely seal your paint with really heavy duty stuff. I would highly recommend green marble as a sealer for this because it's definitely a theatrical paint. I don't think normal sealing sprays will really do enough. especially if you're going to be touching anyone, because the worst thing is when someone gives you a hug or touches you or something and they have unsealed body paint on. You don't make many friends that way. Just a couple things there to keep in mind if you do choose to do this at a convention. Thank you so much for watching, I really appreciate it, and I hope that you'll join me for the next one. Bye!